Hello. Well, I guess it can hear me now. I think I'm live, baby. Well, whew. Okay. I wasn't really ready yet. Well, all I gotta say is I'm going to be suing the criminal justice system of the USA.
Is that you on there?
Yeah, right now. Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah,
just
see?
Oh yeah. I see.
Yeah.
So it's stuff you can't on the
worst imaginable thing. Well, maybe not worst imaginable, but definitely a worst case scenario has happened. And put it short, me and my lady were victims of modern day witch hunt. Proof of that, well, pretty much I have all the proof of that. Why else would two, not just one, but two supposedly well-trained police officers refused to take a severely mentally disabled lady to the hospital? And they had five reasons to do so. Each one standing alone good enough to take her to the hospital. And what was the end result was both ended up arrested. And the reason they had such blinders on for disorderly conduct, domestic violence, is a result of that chief of police that shot his wife and himself. Best guess I have is it just made the police so embarrassed that the number one position could do something like that. Even before I had called for help on 911, I'd already seen on the news a few cases that I remember thinking at the time was really, they're calling that domestic violence. So there I was calling for help because my lady, it was the first time I had to witness her at her absolute worst case scenario with her mental disorder. And so I called 911. I had to get her to the hospital to get the medication. She'd been without for at least 3-4 days I was aware of. So there's reason number one why I take her to the hospital. Reason number two, she was threatening to commit suicide by running out in the street in front of the cars. So when she headed for the door, yeah, I stopped her. I wasn't going to let her out that door do that. 2 reasons now. 3, be self-mutilation. I was on the phone with 911 when she went in the bathroom, and as soon as she come out, I knew exactly what she did. Any doctor could have told those cops no fingernail did that. Took my razor and ran it down full length to the right side of her face. Now, there's 3 reasons. See, well, the easiest reason would have simply been just for safety's sake. Let's play it safe. Take her to the hospital. And the 5th reason, halfway to jail, they informed me, oh, yeah, you're being charged with rape as well. And I go, whoa, you get us both to the damn hospital and you get us both checked out. There's any proof of that, there's going to be plenty of it because it's that time of the month for it. And he gets on his mic and gets his buddy, who's still with my lady, and says, hey, you want to check with her on this and see if we ain't making a mountain out of a molehill? Which in that moment, I just wanted to scream, you freaking idiot, you ain't even got a goddamn molehill. So, in the jailhouse, and still just grasping at straws, trying to get her, to take her to the hospital. I mean, I told 911 I wanted paramedics to begin with, but they wanted to send the cops just in case, so. And, long story short, they ended up arresting her too. And brought her to jail and then let me out. They kept charging on both of us, though. But at no time did they ever take her to the hospital. It just blew my mind. So then comes a day in court, and right away I'm offered plea to disorderly conduct. Well, my mind, I didn't care about that on my record. The bigger matter was I wouldn't have to drag a severely mentally disabled lady through the court system. So I said, yeah, okay, I'll take that. That's fine. And that should have just ended everything. What little damage the cops had done to my lady, I could have, with time, overcome and gotten her back to at least where we were. But that's not what they did. And I had no idea what they had done. And I began being persecuted for it. And I couldn't understand why, because I didn't know. But the no contact order was written on it, and I couldn't believe it went through. I was working at Labor Ready at the time, and if you ever worked for them, you know how it is to not pass up work when it's offered. And we needed it for the rent money, and I couldn't see how they could possibly get a no contact order. As far as I understood things, you needed more than just someone say so. Well, little did I know they had something more. And so I ended up seeing Judge Moore. More Time Moore. I found it. First time I ever was in the jail, I found out that nickname is More Time Moore. And boy, he sure proved it by me. I don't know, the second time I think I saw him, I pointed out to him, well, stop, that he's saying, all stuff, and I said, hey, well, the name on the no contact order isn't even right. Well, he stood up real loud for all posterity, recorded in open court. I'm not letting you off no technicality. Well, I suppose I could argue the point, but what would they done? Just slapped his hand and always trying to keep a bad guy he thought in jail. Yeah, well, it's what he did next that hangs his butt. I don't know, third, fourth time in front of him, I finally stand up in front of him and I said, man, you keep talking this domestic violence and I don't know what you're talking about. And he ends up leaning over, looking towards his clerk, he's leaning way over that way. And just what was Mr. Bentley found guilty of. Took the time, looked it up, and thank God she keeps her stuff right. She says it's order of conduct, which I wasn't surprised to me. It's what I expected to hear, And then I knew something was up. He was frozen, just frozen. Still leaning way over, looking at her, and just frozen. Didn't move, didn't say a word. I knew something was up. I had no idea what, but something was up. And he finally kind of straightened back up and proceeded to give me the most time he'd ever given me at that time. So, where is that coming from? I wonder if you see that or not. I have no idea what I'm doing with this thing. Apparently I touched something, and now I get a little air roasted in my face right there. Anyhow, I don't find out till sometime later. The jail in Linwood was full, so they took me up to Everett. And people out there, they never seen me before, and they didn't know what was going on or anything. They just had what they had on paper. The end result was, come the day I was going to get out of jail, I was going to have to sign off on a felony. But one of the aspects of my lady's condition is she's terrified to be alone. So no matter what, whatever it took, the sooner to get out of jail, fine, whatever I had to do. Well, my lawyer, he shows up and he starts talking, and all of a sudden he says something. I say, wait a minute, that ain't true. He goes, yes, it is. I go, no, it's not. He goes, yes, it is. I go, no, it's not. We're back and forth like this. I just couldn't believe it. This is my lawyer, my public defender. And he's arguing with me, and finally he opens up my file, and he turns 3 pages, and he points to this, and this. Hello? Sure enough. I said, man, that's wrong. He goes, no, it's not. I go, yes, it is. He goes, no, it's there. It's got to be right. I go, well, it ain't right. because they ain't supposed to be there. And what it was a conviction charge for fourth degree assault, domestic violence. Never happened. Never had a trial for it. Never found guilty for it. But yet there it is, sitting in my record saying I had been. And I tell him, well, that's wrong. And finally he goes, well, then you don't want the deal then. I go, well, I want the deal. I get out of jail today, I want the deal. Whatever takes you out of jail, But that's wrong. Oh, well, then you don't want the deal. I go, no. And again, we're going back and forth. I couldn't, boggling my mind, just totally. And finally, he ends up saying, well, so the deal away, and he walks away. I'm trying to tell him, oh, what to do, Anyways, 30 days later, back in court, same judge, same prosecutor, different public defender. And they don't know diddly about what happened before. Why that wasn't passed along is beyond me. But I didn't think about it at the time. But that first guy should have had me out of jail that day I saw him. So anyways, I'm out of jail. And now the probation department, for felonies, it sits over there at Hollywood Mall in Linwood, Washington, USA. And boy, they would call me liar and all this stuff because I tell them, hey man, none of this is true. It's there, This is after the truth's already been found out, at least by few people in the system. Nobody's doing anything, but it's known. And one subsequent arrest from these probation officers in that office, and mind you, it happened in the office. And for the first time, I actually had an audience. Seemed like everybody that worked there was standing around watching. And for the first time, a lady officer slapped him cuffs on. Boy, she slapped him on hard and good. And I went, yow, And I said, that hurt. He goes, well, you shouldn't hit a lady. I said, I never did. And then they drove me from Linwood all the way to Everett. And I don't know how that's getting up. What happened there? Wow, you still see me? This thing's going weird on my end. Let's see. At least it's centered. So, anyways, yeah, that's better. So, anyways, all the way up there, I kept telling him, hey, pull over and undo these cuffs. It's hurting like hell, Well, the lady that put them on, she's riding passengers. The guy driving, he won't pull over. He seems to be having enjoyment out of my pain as well. Yeah, maybe it's the extreme low end as far as the extremities go, what it could have been on the other end. But still, zero tolerance in the criminal justice system for torture of any kind. So that kind of leads me to my lawsuit. I plan to sue a total of 13 entities. And they're all to be held federal court, both right over here in Seattle, Washington. And every one of these entities be heard at the same time in that court. Because if I got to go through reliving the total hell that we have gone through since then, I'm only going to do that once. I'm not going to do it 13 times, that's for sure. So everybody got to be there at one time. It'll be 5 million apiece for the 2 officers, gross negligence, causing undue harm. And obviously the 2 probation officers, 5 million apiece, for obvious reasons. Now, judge, I think is Stephanie Moore, I think it is, more time more, anyways. $50 million. My anger wants him to do 100 times what he did to me in every place he sent me. I'll settle for 10 times. And let's see now. That's going to be 500 million, City of Linwood, because they got to know what's going on. Because all you got to do is sit in that courtroom, and if you sit there enough days, you'll notice that whoever's getting the worst of it is going to be last. Guarantee. And the only way they're going to know that ahead of time is they all get together and have coffee together. Prosecutors, public defenders, and the judge, and they all decide what they're going to do. How else are you going to be the last person going to get the worst of it every single time? I've been in that courtroom and I've seen it, and I've been the last. So it pretty much holds true. And like I said, they got to be planning that ahead of time to know. So things are already decided for you. Ever even step into that courtroom and have your say for your side. So, I'm pretty sure City of Linwood would have an idea about it. Especially, I did sort of an unscientific poll, you might say. And the kindest word I heard when I asked if they knew who this person was, the kindest thing said was, I don't know the person. That was the kindest thing. So it gives you an idea. And if there's that many people that have that kind of opinion about him, I can't see how that city don't know. So, please let me finish. She hates it when my attention is taken away by anything else. Part of her disorder. It's anyway. So we got I figured $50 million for Sonoma County. Pretty sure predation officers, they work for the county. And I believe I already said $500 million in the City of Linwood. And we're going to go $1 billion in Washington State. They got no oversight. Nothing there to prevent something like this from happening. And we got to go up the ladder. Federal government, $1 trillion. And I saved these two for now because public defender's office in Linwood is going to be $1 trillion. Public defender's office in Everett is going to be $1 trillion. And I say those numbers for them because some people practically expect cops will do them wrong. A lot of people expect judge do them wrong. Even probation officers, of course, but your own public defenders screwing you over? Nah, can't have that. Absolutely. Just as a zero tolerance in criminal justice sentence for torture, absolute zero tolerance for your public defenders to leave you hanging. I mean, all my public defenders, they know the truth now. Ain't not one of them done one thing. I still have my rights taken away when they never should have been. They were illegally taken away. I never should have been in handcuffs to begin with. And for those of you keeping track, yeah, there's one person I haven't left mentioned yet, because I did say 6, right, and only mentioned 5. Well, this is the one aspect I just don't know yet. Who typed it into my record and why? Was it the most horrific mistake they could possibly make? Were they just of a mind that thought, wow, this is too good, I won't let this person get away with it? Or did somebody tell them to punch it in? After what I've been through, I wouldn't be surprised by that at all. So I'll put a $5 million on that person with a question mark and see what they say. But I don't know who it is yet. But I assume people that type things in they're supposed to put their initials somewhere so they know who did it. We'll see. But at any rate, that's my lawsuit. I'm hoping this is saved so I don't have to repeat it again, but I don't know. I have. It took me, God, a couple of days of hitting, trying to figure this thing out. Me and my lady, we're so behind times on these things. It just, I said, I don't even know if it's being taped. I just assume once you hit send on these sort of things, they say it's there forever. You know. Well, I hope so. Hope so. I know I kind of put it short and sweet, but we got other problems coming at us. You know. We just the other day got an eviction notice because these apartments got sold, and the new people, well, they want to renovate, and so they're starting with 2 of the buildings, and everybody in both those buildings got eviction notices for 20 days. Yeah, big notice, huh? You'd think somebody just bought the apartment buildings would have a little more leniency on time you have to make plans. Doesn't seem right to me. That doesn't. But at any rate, I don't know. Don't know. It's just craziest thing I ever been through. But what the result of what they did for me and my lady was they basically threw us on a road that went straight to the center of hell. Because though they did the worst things possible, they did it to someone that suffers from the worst thing possible. Kind of put it in best way I found to describe is when I put it through my lady's eyes. Now, my lady, she's a believer, you know, and she has the strongest belief in God than anybody I've ever met, and that includes ones that with a collar, you know, the priest. The last one I talked to, he ain't got half the strength in his belief as my lady's got in hers. So, you know. And you got, she's what you call to be the positive. The atheists, of course, are the negative. And then the agnostics, like myself, well, we're the neutral. You know, I've always, one of the longest beliefs I've had is the fact that we live on. I asked you how that happens. It's just, I just see a dark abyss. I don't have the answer for myself. Believers say they do, but for me, that's as far as to go. But I did recently realize there is one thing you can draw from that, though. And doesn't matter if it's just for less than a blink of an eye or a longer time, whether it's transporting or transforming, a journey, a phase. I don't know, but one thing has to be. We have to be energy, living energy. Like I said, maybe it's just for less than a blink of an eye, but it's that point when you die to live on, you have to be living energy. There's no other way it can work. There's something to chew on now, isn't it? Yeah, think about that for a while. It's made me think, and I started looking. Let me tell you how I got it. I was originally going to wait until I got my disability to get this ball rolling. Because one thing I wanted to be sure is that I could secure my lady away so she wouldn't be mobbed by the news hounds, you know. And, well, things happened, and I can't wait any longer. It's been so long now. I'm surprised I made it this long, but you know, we're coming up short. I'm going to get about 50 grand lump sum when I do get it, but it's too far away yet still. And I've got to get this ball rolling now. I got about 22 days, I figure, to get things turned around. And Anyways, when I realized I started to get the ball rolling, boy, it's like my mind just started running with all that information the last decade and a half of everything that's gone on and what they did, and it wouldn't stop. It just kept running night and day. Mine just kept running all that information. I said I just couldn't get it to stop, but I realized I was going through it because I needed to figure out how I was going to talk to the jury and just how to begin. And after so many days of that, I finally realized, even though I'm talking for me and my lady, I needed to talk for her. And the best way I figured I could talk for her was more in line with her belief. So I had in my mind, I started out this way. Well, if you believe in God, you have to believe in the devil. And if you believe in the devil, then you have to believe in demons. And if I asked my question, where would the demons or the devil send his demons to attack? It seemed to me, well, you do the most damage by attacking God's most cherished, wouldn't it? Yeah, it seemed most logical to me at any rate. And I thought, well, where's he going to send his strongest, most evil demon? Well, obviously, then it'd have to be to God's most cherished of all. And I realized, well, if the believers are right, if they're absolutely right, then I would have to bear witness for them that I've been going toe to toe with the strongest, most evil demon, and that I have seen God's most cherished. I haven't seen both of these, but in a true reality, the strongest, most evil demon is called schizoaffective disorder. And in my lady's case, what makes it worse is it's followed by /bipolar. This enables her to feel the extremes. That is why I've witnessed a few times now what will absolutely shred your heart when you're watching the one you love, the one you would not hesitate to jump in bullet for, in the most agonizing agony from the absolute terror in her head. And after a few of these, I don't know if I can take another one. That last one has left me to the point where I feel I could just collapse at any moment. It just has drained my physical body. And what keeps me going is, I don't know. Is it just the pure love of my lady, my soulmate? I don't know. But I still, even now, feel like I could just collapse. I could fall flat on me right now. But I'm still going. So, but I know I don't want to go through another heart shredding. And it led me to the idea of what I want to do with the money. I'm going to build a research center that's going to solve problems. What makes this research center different than others? Well, they're all spread around the world. One does this, one does that. I'm going to have all the pieces of the puzzle in one place. That way, if everything is there and handy, some might get an idea. Hey, man, this is the other person's section. Let me go over and check with them. Maybe they got the answer. Maybe it gives them direction to look at. But pretty soon, people's minds are going to go click, 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 and solutions are going to start popping out. My gut tells me that there's going to be a cure or a fix, or at the very least, something's going to come out of it shortly after they start operating that's going to make my lady's life much more enjoyable. I firmly believe that. So that's the plan right now. And what I do to save my lady, I think you can already start to imagine the good that'll spill over the world will be like a flood, which kind of takes me back now to, I said, looking at things through my lady's eyes. Once I started doing that, pieces just started falling into place. Everything seemed to perfectly. There seemed to be answers for everything. Whys were answered. And I still couldn't make the leap, something kept holding me back, I still couldn't believe the same the way they did, even though things looked so perfect. And then things started kind of coming together. I started realizing I had pieces of the puzzle all this time that I'd never put together. Like one piece I might think of from time to time. Well, other things wouldn't be in my mind at that time. Maybe when I think of this other thing, the one part wouldn't be in my mind. But all of a sudden, I was thinking about it, and then the other thing got, and I said, wait, they're connected. They fit. Yeah. This is the first time I called something an injury that I'd never called an injury before. I've thought about it many times, just that word never came into my head, though, when it did. Had a dream. I can only remember kind of the end of the dream, but see this grassy area. And on the far edge, I can kind of tell that it's a cliff there, at edge. And I want to go over and look down. And I just kind of visualize the motioning towards that when my mind skips the next part that I remember and I'm already falling. I'm on my right side. But what I remember most strongly about it was how at peace I was. Completely calm, relaxed, totally. Didn't have no worry or fear at all. I knew I was falling. I knew I was going to hit the ground. At time when I first thought about this, the only thing I can think of was that I wasn't old enough to know the consequences, to be afraid of. Can't be sure of that, I guess, but the only thing that came to mind at the time. And I hit. Dream ends. I wake up and I realize I'm laying on a concrete floor on my right side like I was falling. And I had just fallen out of the upper bunk of the bunk bed down to this concrete floor. Surprise is I'm not feeling any pain. I didn't, not thinking about that I should or anything. I remember waking up and just kind of giving it that thought a little bit. Got up, went to the end of the bed, climbed back up, went back up top bunk, and went back to sleep. There was no next morning, oh my, I fell off bed last night. That never happened. So even to this day, my mom don't know, so don't freak out when you find out, But heck, the first time I would have mentioned it would have been mid-grade school. My kids mentioned how you fall in a dream, you hit the bottom, you're going to die. And I jumped up and said, no, it ain't true. I felt it could be under circumstances. Maybe I just got lucky. But I think the fact that I was so relaxed just saved me there. And this proved to save me 2 more times in my life. That being relaxed, they say the drunks live through serious wrecks because they're so relaxed. Keep that in mind. If you get in a serious accident, do your best to stay as relaxed as possible. If it's in a car, you still might want to hold on to something and keep your hands tight grip, but let your body be relaxed. You'll do a lot better. Anyways, I started to realize some other things, like that part about we'd have to be living energy to, like I said, whatever the next thing is, transforming phase, whatever. Have to be living energy. And I started to think about my lady's belief, and think about it. God is reported to be. So I began to realize some things, and, I almost got it right. I believe I've got some pieces of the puzzle. There's a scientist down in Oregon. I can't think of his name right now. I've been trying to find his name. I know I got it written down somewhere. I haven't been able to find it. I think it ends with a B. But he's a man of faith as well. So he's using science to explore faith, you might say, prove things. Well, I do believe I can narrow his focus quite some bit. There's something I believe with his help, and with what I know, and the pieces I believe I know, I need to, let's say, recreate a miracle. I believe they're actually actual occurrences. Maybe they're fairly rare because you need certain things to come together at the same time, But I believe this scientist, now, I haven't seen any of his evidence, actually. It's just I caught the last few minutes of his show. And just from what he said in those last few minutes, I'm certain with his help I can prove these things. So in a way, maybe it's the beginning of the new millennium. What do you think? So anyways, I don't know. I'm surprised I got that much out. I might tell you after I from that fall out of that upper bunk, always related to the absent-minded professor in grade school. I remember doing that all the time, And I developed a way to try and remember things. I always had trouble remembering, those memory tests they do where they make you look at a picture for a minute or two and then they take it away and you got to write down as much as you can within a minute or two, whatever it is. Boy, if I wasn't the worst scorer, I was always next to it. I was terrible at it. It's funny. I'd be looking at them pictures and go, well, that'd be easy to remember. That's easy to remember. That's easy to remember. But boy, when it come to actually writing it down without that picture, boy, I'd get a few and that'd be it. And that's the way it's always been. So, and I developed a way to memorize things was simply just concentrate on what I had to remember. Anything I had to remember, I worked hard as could to remember. And some things clicked right away, and some things took a while, but that's what it was. Anything else, I never even worried about putting into memory. Never. To this day, I have trouble with names. Boy, it takes me a while to remember your name, So, again, every once in a while, their name just clicks for me, and I remember it right away, but most time, I might have to ask you if you're lucky, maybe several times. So sometimes when I'm trying to get points across, something will come up and I need to steer off to make a point about that, and I forget where the point was I was really trying to make, and I can't even remember what I was talking about after that. Maybe after I leave the person I'm talking to, whatever, it'll come back. But then I'm already gone, So I've had a lot of conversations go this way. So I'm kind of amazed I got this far as this one. Maybe I kind of rushed through everything there for you. Kind of piled a lot in there to think about, didn't I? But I do got some ideas. Like take education, for instance. Considering what I know, the big need is the big brains. We need the smartest people we can get, and we need as many of them as we can get. And we're not going to do that the way the education system is set up now. Because if only money can buy education, then what we need ain't going to come about. Because smart brains ain't determined by who's got money. So, my proposal is we just give everybody a chance to go to college, irregardless. Quit worrying about the damn money. As far as what I can see in the future, the money is going to lose its stranglehold on you. Kindness is going to be the commodity. And it's only smart. If you think about it right now, the biggest evil in this world, what the devil in the Bible represents, is mental illness. And the demons of the devil are your various mental disorders, ailments, and things of this nature. And like I said, your strongest, most evil of these mental disorders is schizoaffective disorder. When you put a slash bipolar on it, you really magnify this problem. Because these are the people that truly live in hell on earth. When I first asked what it meant, I got about a nutshell answer you could possibly get. And simply put, she's paranoid all the time. Well, you're paranoid all the time and you slap bipolar on it, which extends the extremes. I guarantee you that agonizing agony I've had my heart shredded having to watch my lady suffer through from the absolute terror in her head can only come from one place, and that's the center of hell. And you think about it, the revelation in the Bible, they're been lost on trying to figure out all that symbolism. Well, yeah, there's some symbolism there, but you know, it ain't as much as you think you got to figure out, because it's mainly just trying to describe the types of horror that goes on in the minds of the sufferers of what I'm talking about. That's what it's describing. It's describing the horrors and the terrors that these people live with. Think about creation. Now, what's the word for turning a planet into a place to live? Is it transforming, something like that? I want to say transforming, but I don't think that's right. I think it's like transforming, something like that. You know what I'm talking about. I think that's exactly what's going on with us, and it's all been about the how do I want to? I can't. I'm getting stuck on a word. I'm trying to figure out the nurturing of the mind. Just think about it. Way back then, in Jesus' time, the picture that was framed then was because that's all they could handle. You try and throw this technical jargon that the scientists talk today, back then, well, they'd have been blown away. They had no idea what you're talking about. You'd been the instant God, you know, right? So, yeah, this picture is just framed in that manner for that reason. The great teaching of morality certainly has that. And past proving that miracles are actual realities, actual occurrences, I only have scenarios. I don't have anything pointing at anything specific. But when I went through the scenarios, I realized there's one scenario, whether it's right or wrong, we just can't ignore if there's any chance it's possibly right. And then I realized, after so many days later, that, hey, wait a minute, that one scenario holds absolutely true. Because if it is a rescue mission, it's at the very least for us. Because there's another one of my beliefs that I've always had was, if the world's ending, why aren't we putting a bigger rush on making a way off of it? Are we going to wait to the last moment when there ain't no time?
Jeez.
No, we need to be making sure that we're working on this now. And there's my lady. She's getting upset for my attention to you guys right now. She's getting mad at me. So she's kind of trying to interrupt. You probably hear her, I'm sure. See, there she is. See, get what I mean? So I'm almost done, but she's getting impatient, and well, I need to try and finish this, and I'm already starting to lose my train of thought. See, that's what I'm talking about, you know. In this case, I got interrupted, did it? But the whole point here is, hey, non-believers, believers, we can all come together on this one. Bring this world together. Just think about it. If we're all turning our anger towards the mental health where it needs to be, then if there's still any dummies out there that want to be crossing borders to chop off heads, well, they're going to stand out pretty big. And then let's just have all the world's armies go sit on their borders. Then we just tell the people of the country, bring us your leader. They want to come peacefully, fine. Just find them and bring them to us. They want to fight you, just go ahead and bring us their heads in. I don't want to kill him. I want to end all killing. But if it takes a little bit more to end all of it, so be it. Then the world can turn its attention. Oh yeah, there's where it's going to getting off this world, right? And we got a perfect opportunity up there, you know. Mars would make a perfect place to practice that with, right? Turn another planet into something livable. And maybe it'd be a lot less fuel taken off from it, too. That is the moon, whichever. Or just build a thing out in space altogether. I mean, that's probably what we're going to have to do anyways. It's going to be so big, can't blast it off from Earth. No way. You have to build it in space, that's for certain. I mean, scientists are already talking about all this stuff, you know, and how to get from one place to another and on, you know. So, you know what I'm talking about. But that's what I think the plan is. I think the plan is, at a minimum, rescue mission for us. You know, we're talking about God's plan. So, think about it. Did I tell you my name's Michael? Think about that for a moment, huh? All I can say for certain is I'm definitely a witness. I witness to a lot of things. And I hope this is being recorded. I really do. Really, really do. But anyways, I better get off. The longer I do this under the condition, what's she going to get? So, anyways, I don't know. Well, I don't know how to shut it off. Tell you what, maybe I'll just leave it like this. When I flip it back up, maybe some people will be there. I hope so. But then I wonder, if I don't shut it off, would they be able to get to the beginning of this? I don't know. I'm still trying to find out. But anyways, maybe it's a new millennium. Have a good night.